Welcome back to the Killer Media Podcast, your home for all things horror and movie reviews.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm Tim. That is Nick, my amazing co-host. Are you though?
Yeah,
He's all right.
there's some
He's
there's some
just
gray area.
he's just fine. Uh, thanks for tuning in once again. It's basically a news video and just our thoughts on everything that's upcoming. We're going to talk about Terrifier 4, Wednesday Season 2, Stranger Things Season 5, because the whole world's blowing up about that.
Yep.
Uh,
It only took forever for season 5 to
yeah,
pretty much make our way closer.
right.
It's
Uh,
it's too long in between
it
seasons.
is too long. And then just some generic news, keep you updated on. And then before we get into that, don't forget to give us your horror hot takes. We're gonna do a whole episode talking about your hot takes, discussing how wrong they are, or if we agree with them.
Yeah, how wrong.
We could agree with them.
Yeah, there's one that someone had already posted it. It's about Scream, but we're not going to say what it's
Yeah.
about.
It got him
But
riled up.
I feel like the whole episode just based on what this person said.
There's a lot of fuel the fire with this.
Yes.
So give them all to us. We'll post multiple times. When we have enough, we'll do that episode. We don't want to give you when we have enough. So keep an eye out.
Post on this.
Yeah, post in the comments on this video. Wherever you see the post, just give them to us. Email them to us. We don't care. Join the Discord. Put them in the Discord.
Just don't call.
We're gonna make a Discord channel for Horror Hot Take.
Yeah,
put them in there too.
If you haven't, join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord.
There's no one in there.
There's content in there, but there's nobody in there to enjoy it. We do update it, and we now are almost caught up on our Spotify uploads. So if you're a audio listener, I have stopped the slack, and I've started to upload most of the videos on there. You have the option to watch it video or audio, so just click audio only, and the video will go away. So
yeah, because I know if you watch on YouTube, you have to be YouTube Premium to be able to have audio in the background and not have the video play.
You can't turn the screen off. You got to pay for that. I do.
That's
You
ridiculous.
got to pay for that. It's stupid. It never used to be like that. And they're like, "Well, I know how to make money." Just like the
paywall.
It's like the Bitcoin.
It's just what is with these walls? People just like putting walls up. A paywall.
Somebody likes putting walls up. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. I will hand it over to Nicholas. He has a lot to do on the news.
Fine now.
My phone.
All right. So when is Dangerous Animals comes out the end of this week, right? Friday. So it's premiered in Texas in it's in Texas in a water park called Volante Beach Water Park. Never heard of it, but they were doing something pretty interesting where that night you're sitting around and you could be in the tube in the water but there's also divers who are underneath you while you're watching the movie who I guess freak you out,
touching you.
And I think that's a pretty interesting premiere.
They should put a shark in there.
They should.
They should put a toothless shark so it can't harm you. But just knowing it's there and seeing it would scare the shit out of you. Would it not? Make it harmless.
That would definitely scare the shit out of me.
Make it harmless, toothless.
He also said the whatever, I forget who said it, but one of the stunts, there was an actual shark, I think, that took the stunt man and grabbed him by the flipper and thrashed him around. I think it's down here. Where was it?
Gotta find it, man.
I do have to find it.
But that's awesome that real sharks.
He said, "All right, we're not supposed to tell this story, but one of our stunt guys, while we had actors in the water, got pulled off of the back of a jet ski.
Damn, you pulled him off
A bull shark bit his flipper, ripped him into the water, and death rattled him. And that was the very first day of doing it. So that was the first day of shooting.
It can only get worse.
And I wonder what that stunt man was thinking. Like, do I get paid enough for this?
I'm sure he knew the risks going in.
Yeah,
they're not trained sharks, but props to them for not using all CG. At least they'll have some practical sharks in there. Like, props to them. Like doing that in open water, not like within a. They're I think they're one of the most vicious sharks out there. Pretty dangerous. So props to you. And it's doing great. It's got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, let us know if you would do any premiere that is like this.
I would do it. I want to do it for Jaws. I know some places are doing, watch
That would
Jaws in
be
the ocean. That's awesome. I'd want to do that.
that's more than 4DX.
Yeah, you're living it. So yeah, that's cool. We are planning to see this, and we will review it. We could have reviewed it already, but busy. We had the chance to see it early, but we couldn't go. So sad. So we'll see it when everybody else does.
Yep. Now another thing, if you guys like alcohol,
Yum.
like we do, we're not alcoholics though.
No, we just like a good sip. Ooh, that looks good.
So if you guys are a fan of Captain Morgan,
Mhm.
if you like a little rum, this would load. Megan has a themed Megan 2.0, I
Yeah.
guess. Megan with a 3
Terminator.
has a glow in the dark spiced rum bottle.
That's pretty cool.
We'll put the picture
Oh,
up
it glows.
so you guys can see it.
Got some dragon fruit.
But
Damn.
that's pretty
That's
interesting.
nice.
I'm not a rum person because I
Rum's good.
just prefer whiskey,
Risky?
bourbon, risky.
Rum is just a lighter whiskey.
None of that
Six-
light.
It's only $16.
None of that light shit.
Wait, 16
Really?
bucks?
Only 16?
That's cheap as shit. It probably tastes like ass. That's cheap as shit.
Well, it makes sense.
But if for any collectors out there,
Yeah,
easy grab.
it's a nice bottle.
So I'll probably grab it.
Looks like a nice bottle, so that's definitely it's got that going for it.
Nope, can't buy it because it's not sold in PA.
So
we'd have to drive to New York. When we
New
go to
York.
Comic-Con, we'll buy it.
if it's not already sold out.
Yeah. Or maybe we can just buy it online. But interesting. I think it would be a cool idea if Dangerous Animals did rum because it's in the water, pirates, right?
I mean, and
Weird
boardwalks always
choice,
have a bunch of bars on,
right?
on that. On the
Weird
boardwalk.
choice for Megan to do rum. But hey, maybe
Yeah,
they
I'm
have
not
it
sure
in the movie.
where the collaboration came from. Like, who was like, "I'll sponsor you your rum."
Yeah. Well, speaking about alcohol, Jaws has a decanter. You know what a decanter
Yeah.
is? They have one, and it's literally the shark. I gotta find this image.
Literally the shark.
Literally the shark. I have to find this image because it's sick. Look at this. How sick is that? Isn't that rad?
That is.
Right?
It looks like it's coming out of the especially if it's half poured like that.
And it's like $50. But it's from a apparently sketch website
Oh.
where it might not look like that. So I don't know. But it's like everywhere, like official. So I don't know. It's weird.
Sketchy.
We'll have to do some research.
Yeah. So Megan 2.0 releases in June 27th. On June 27th.
Yeah.
This year. So we might watch it. We haven't watched the first one, so
yeah, I'm sure the first one did great. It's got raving reviews, so maybe we'll have to watch.
But this one seems like it's going for a different tone. It's
more
like action horror,
sci-fi. It's not
horror action sci-fi. It's giving me weird vibes, like it's trying to be Resident Evil,
right.
like the way that those went. Like at least, much as a lot of people don't like the Resident Evil movies, at least the first one was good. Resident Evil seems like it definitely handled action horror the best out of a lot of horror.
Right.
Like there's no horror like Resident.
Yeah, that's true horror. That and Silent Hill. Those are like.
I say Silent Hill is more true horror, more than Resident Evil.
I think so. Let's talk about some Scream 7 news.
Yes.
Scream 7 will take place 2 years after Scream 6.
Yeah, that's a big time jump.
Yeah. So apparently they had to, it's old news now, but they had to rewrite the whole script. They already had a script kind of like written out with, the two main girls who backed out because of reasons. So they had to rewrite them. Apparently they said their story's over, it's done, which I guess you can say it's over. Like it was kind of a end, you can say. You could spin it that way.
Yeah, I wonder if they will reveal what their original script would have been.
Yeah, and like what are they up to? Like are they going to explain why they're not there anymore? Did they go away? Did they just want to get away with it and move away?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they put them. Like, oh, they moved away. Like, just a little throwaway line because
they die. Because the other core 4 is in it.
2 of the core 4.
Yeah. So they're part of it. So
I think
aren't they going to be like, where'd they go?
Yeah, both of the twins are in it, so maybe they're going to be the leads, which I'm fine with. Like, I actually really like them.
They're good leads. Well, I think Nev will be a lead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Or
they're
is he
just,
going to be a side character? Why are they bringing
well, they
everybody
weren't.
back?
Yeah.
Just bring Matthew Lillard back. That's all we need.
What I'm worried about is they're, as much as like I guess Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich are like high. They're not like star like actors, but like they're really well known. So of course they're probably gonna ask for a lot of money. So like,
Oh, I'm sure they are.
where's this money going to
Right.
in terms of all the actors? So that's what I'm worried about. That
Right.
the quality overall.
And if all these people are just like voices, like people have speculated, like the new Ghostface is just gonna use their voice, lame. If you're putting all this in, put them in the movie. But that doesn't explain how David Arquette's back.
Yeah.
Are they gonna retcon
Other
him?
than
Oh,
other than flashbacks.
Right, are they gonna retcon his death and be like, well, he had armor on and it just looked like he died? Like, how do you explain that? I don't get it. It's all to get people in the seats. They know the franchise is on like the fritz, so
Yeah,
they need.
it
How
is.
do we get people back? Let's bring all the fans' favorite characters back. Every one of them.
Bring on the comments about it.
Yeah, come on, break them in. One of you out there loves the Scream franchise. Wink. So that's Scream 7 for you. Still looking forward to it. It's a fun franchise, you know. And if Matthew Lillard's in it, give him his revenge storyline, you know. If he's actually alive and in it, give him a good send off. Maybe he'll win. Who knows? Probably not. But that'd be sick if he won. We'll have to wait.
Ghostface should just win at this point.
Give him a chance. Give him one.
I'd be fine if he just won and kills Neve.
Yeah. Hey, guess
just
what?
kill Sydney. Grabs a gun and just shoots everybody.
Yeah. Be great. Ooh, oh wait. I read your next thing that the tone of weapons will be fun. Why does that not sound good? I don't want it to be fun.
The way that the director had said it, I guess, is in a way that it's about kids being taken. So like that's already like kind of screwed up. Like what's going on with that? So I guess the movie's not going to be like,
they don't want it to be depressing.
Like bring her back, probably.
Yeah, that's a little much. Okay,
like that type. It's not gonna. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. No, not funny. Did he say funny?
It's funny. It's scary. Maybe because of the kid.
Maybe whatever's going on is funny.
They're advertising this as a very serious, weird horror, and now it's funny. But the story's fucked up. They say.
Yeah,
we'll have to see a plot. There was a full trailer?
Yeah.
And did they release like a plot, or was it still like very?
It's still ominous.
All right, so maybe if
I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe if they reveal a full trailer with a plot, we'll kind of get the subject matter. But based on the trailers, I didn't get comedy, not comedy, but I didn't get funny.
I didn't either. Barbarian is one of the other movies that the director had made, and that's one of the movies that we want to see, and it's actually on Netflix now.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who haven't watched it, you could watch it because we will do an upcoming video about a review for Barbarian.
Yeah,
because I think overall it was well received, but I think a lot of people also didn't like it. So there's a little bit of a mix.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing is, which you might have mentioned it on a previous episode. We've talked about this a little bit, that Jordan Peele fired his entire marketing team because they didn't get the rights to make this.
Oh, I didn't.
Like he wanted to direct the film.
Oh, really?
So he told his marketing team, do everything you can to get the rights so we can make it, the company. He didn't get it, so he fired the entire team. So something about this movie is so intriguing to Jordan Peele that he fired his whole damn marketing team.
That's interesting.
Because they failed to get it. That's cold. So this film better be the movie of the year.
They really wanted to give it to Zach Cregger.
Right. Yeah, Jordan Peele was like, I need this movie. I need this story. Nope. And the whole marketing team. That's cold. So something.
That's fucked up.
This has got to be like movie of the year then. So he saw something in this, said I need. He was pissed. He turned in full Megan.
Guess what?
What?
This is releasing in IMAX.
This one is, but not 28 years later. That's we got tickets today. Not IMAX. Lame, because they filled some scenes with iPhone. That's probably why.
Oh,
probably.
Right.
Although you can use multiple cameras, so that probably won't be why. But I guess they didn't have slots for it, or maybe the budget wasn't huge, so they couldn't afford it, or another movie's coming out and they took up the spots. But they have Dolby, so we'll have a good audio, but we won't have the big screen.
You could hear them. They're not zombies, I guess. We'll just call them zombies because
Yeah.
that's
They're just
because what do you
infected
call
with
it?
rage.
They're infectioners.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't sound good. They're zombies because
Right.
they're not all there.
Yeah.
But they're
But
not really zombies. we know.
They showed a cool picture of how they filmed it, and there's like 13 iPhone cameras like in a wide frame, and so they got this huge wide shot, 13 cameras of phones. Because again, people like to use film with the iPhone. Like just use a real film camera. You know,
Yeah, I'm not sure what's so special
film it with
about.
film. Enough of this digital film. Film it with real film grain. Still, it's going to be movie of the year. I'm telling you, a horror movie of the year.
Yeah, a lot
Although-
of people think it might top Sinners.
Although Bring Her Back was pretty good. I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8 or 8.5.
What? Bring Her Back?
Yeah, I gave it an 8.5. I might change that to like a 9. It's so good.
Mine was a 9.2, I think.
It's so good. I can change on that.
Anything will beat Prom Queen.
Woohoo, that was ass. Oh, and my coworker just told me about Pete Davidson.
Yeah, this is also what we're going to be talking
Yeah,
about.
I watched the trailer just yesterday for that.
I watched it today.
Now, I will say, it seems like a very generic horror movie. It's one of we've seen it before. It's got typical horror sounds, you know, the screeching and stuff. I just can't get over the fact that he's not in a comedic role. I don't think that's going to sit well with
His character's
people.
probably going to be sarcastic.
Probably, but it didn't seem like it was. Kind of seems like a serious role. And it's
Yeah.
weird for him. Good for him for going into other genres, but it's just going to be a weird shift.
I do think Pete Davidson, he has a little bit of range.
That's some.
I don't think he's got like amazing range because most of it's comedy.
But we haven't seen his other stuff yet.
Yeah, that's true. So like we'll see what he can do. Like the beginning of the trailer wasn't that intriguing. It was pretty basic.
Mm.
But then like the picture, I don't know why my pictures aren't loading, but the picture of this.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Like it's kind of creepy.
It
Is
is.
it a painting though?
I have no
Or
clue.
is that just CGI? It looks like a painting.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not a painting. I don't know.
Yeah, put this picture up.
Yeah, we'll put it up.
Because yeah, I was like, what the hell?
I mean, it looks intriguing, but it looks like a movie we've seen a bunch. It looks like The Visit. Have you seen The Visit? Where the
Yeah,
kids
with the
visit like the
grandma. Yeah,
grandparents and they're like
It's
all
wild.
weird. Kind of seems like this because they're in what, a hospital or a home?
Yeah, it's like a group home, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's called Home. So I think they're in a.
Yeah, I think it's a
Old-
group
old folks'
home.
home.
He gets a job at like cleaning, I think, and
Janitor.
as a janitor. So he has room and board, so he lives there.
Mhm.
But things in the trailer go downhill.
You can't go to the 4th floor.
Yeah, do not go to
It's
the
all
4th
planets.
floor, and I think he goes to the 4th floor.
I think so because they require special care. So they're the people that are a bit off.
A little more special care. And then eventually he gets taken and he's strapped down. So
Yeah.
like, what's going on with that? He was about to get a needle in his eye.
Oh yeah.
Body horror. Gotta
Yeah.
love it.
It's very intriguing, and we'll see more as it unfolds.
Yeah, that one I'm kind of excited for. I'm interested to see what Pete Davidson would do in horror because he's been in like a horror movie, but like it wasn't this type of horror. It was more like teen fun.
Mhm.
He was in like I forget what movie it was called.
I don't know what you're talking. He was also the Weasel. Do we want to mention this, or are we saving this the game?
I'll mention it
No, we're going to mention it.
any day now. No, I'm kidding.
Piggying back off of this before you go into this, Dead by Daylight. They just introduced The Witcher 3.
I saw that.
I guess you can beat him. I guess not like a character; it's a costume, an outfit.
So one of the survivors has.
I think so, Geralt. Yeah. I saw an image of him, so maybe you can be him. But anyway, go into what you were going to say.
That's just weird seeing him in there. I don't know.
Yeah, they're bringing in non-horror
Some of
stuff.
these collabs
They're non-horror.
are a little weird. It's turning into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Turning into Call of Duty.
Stick with horror. Don't go out of horror. The Witcher's not really horror.
Yeah, and this is a thing that I've definitely wanted
That
for a
would be-
long time.
We both want it.
And apparently, so some of the devs for Dead by Daylight are interested in adding the thing to be one of the killers.
They better. That'd be sick.
It would be.
It would have the power to be any killer. That's what I would think. That's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
That's probably not what they would do, because who would want to be him just to be in a
Yeah,
right?
that does seem like that would be the obvious choice to do, but at the same time,
Or
it
you assimilate and you're the survivor undercover. Ooh, and then you attack.
yeah, gotta be some way that they can do it where like you
What could his powers
like at first maybe you move silently, and then if you're close enough to a survivor, you can assimilate.
be? Maybe.
But like you have to assimilate it, so like
Takes time.
yeah, it takes time.
Or one of his powers could be just ooze off like some henchman, like the head. And that would be a guy that scouts for you. Because they can, I'm sure
I definitely think that would be one
they're
of
gonna
their
reuse
powers.
assets. And they already have with the what was going to be the Predator is now that cyborg woman. She can send off a drone that can scan. I'm sure they'll reuse some assets
You could have like Chucky's camera because he's short.
there.
You can maybe play as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the thing.
And yeah, what would it look like?
The spider probably. Maybe like the spider head.
Just the head.
Yeah, I think so.
And then obviously the survivor.
I think it'd be similar to where Freddy, like in the dream world, where you're farther away, you can't see him, but
Maybe.
maybe from a distance you can only see the killer as a survivor,
Oh.
and then the closer you get, then it unassimilates and turns into. But then you can also, if you're, but maybe it only works if you hear the heartbeat. Like if you're in the
Mm.
killer's radius, but if they're on like a silent where like their radius isn't heard,
Mm-hmm.
then they could still be a survivor until like up into the last second,
I could see that.
and it's like a jump scare.
That could be
I
good.
could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Do it.
There's a lot of stuff, but make it happen.
Do it.
Him and then put Pennywise. We also need Penny. But Stephen King doesn't want to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, Steve.
Make it happen. The Thing is the second greatest horror movie. Depending on the day.
Then the last for our news will be it's kind of like a horror action, I would say, but it's a dinosaur survival first person shooter called Ferocious. And it does have a public play test. Yeah. So you fight off
Hello, neighbor.
other military people, and I actually don't know if this is multiplayer. I did not look into it if it's multiplayer or not, but it says the game's first level, so maybe it's singular,
Maybe.
like a linear story called Crevice, however you pronounce it, and you're fighting dinosaurs and people.
Yeah.
Think about the horror of like quiet, and then all of a sudden a dinosaur pops up out of
Yeah.
you.
Looks like it's single. Maybe they would do like a co-op, but it looks to be single.
Yeah, maybe I could see it being co-op.
Have you played the game Torok? Years ago, it was a dinosaur game. PS3.
No, I did not.
Great game.
I was on PS3 now.
They're making that into a movie. Great game.
Let's watch Jurassic Park.
That's gonna be the movie.
Do you think Jurassic World?
That's gonna make the biggest box office hit.
Really?
That and Avatar. I think Avatar is still this year.
What was Avatar 2 at the top?
It
Is
made
it
a
still
billion.
at the top?
Avatar 2? No.
Below Avatar?
No, I think it made.
Endgame also made a lot.
I think Endgame's still in the league.
So it was
No,
it
but
was
then they
Avatar.
re-released Avatar, and then that won again. I don't know for sure, but it 2 billion, like it made 2.
Makes sense because
Ridiculous.
from when the time Avatar was released, there was less people in the world.
Right?
More people are gonna be into it. A lot of
Is that
nowadays
coming out
it's
this
a little
year?
bit easier to watch movies, so people are gonna watch it.
Yeah, 2025. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Goddamn. So yeah, I think this will be box office winner, seconded by Jurassic World, because those movies always make.
I think
And it looks really good.
Prom Queen.
Put
Yeah.
that in theaters. Why just skip out on the theaters? You would have
Yeah.
made killer on that. Probably cost you $12 to make.
It's on Netflix, so Netflix doesn't have anything in theaters, do they? Right?
Only some stuff, but it's like limited time for like a weekend. Like I think The Irishman was in theaters, but that's a Netflix original.
Oh, okay.
But because it was so big, they're like, let's put it in there for a weekend, stuff like that. So, yeah, All right, we'll hop into some Wednesday season 2 news and some fun. So we have a few trailers out, and we have the first 6 minutes of episode 1, which kind of gives us a where we are now in the series, what's happening, and so on. So basically, in that 6 minutes, Wednesday is I think she's like telling a story, kind of like a flashback, like, hey, how did I get to this point, right?
Yeah, and this says it's the first 6 minutes. Like, do I
Of
really?
for episode 1.
Do I
Yeah,
think that? I don't know. I guess this is the exact opening of the 6 minutes.
I think it is. However, when I was watching it, it felt like a trailer
Yeah, that's what I was also
because
getting.
they cut away at different scenes. But basically, in the regular trailer, we get that like airport scene, funny scene,
Yeah,
like perfectly written for like Tim Burton.
yeah. They weren't. They
Great.
weren't really worried,
Yeah,
other than the sunscreen.
yeah. The sunscreen was the main issue, although they put 20 plus murderous weapons on. But they cared about the sunscreen.
I think she left without those, right?
She did though,
'Cause
but
she
they
she
weren't
can't.
worried about that. They were like, "You can't bring
They're just
sunscreen.
like
It's 16 ounces. That's too much
they're not
sunscreen.
worried that a little girl has it. They were just like,
Right.
you can't bring it.
You can't bring the sunscreen in." Like they didn't like reprimand her like they did the sunscreen. And that's true. That's how TSA is.
Other
You
than
can't bring sunscreen. Why?
more than 3.4
Yeah,
ounces.
yeah. It
Like,
was 16 ounces. You can't do it.
dumb.
It's like why? Why do that's a rule? You can't bring
So it can't fit
toothpaste.
like a certain amount of drugs, I think, or something
Well,
like that.
open it yourself and sniff it. It's sunscreen. I don't know. What do you want? Then basically the rest of it, she's kind of tied up in a chair. She's gagged. She's looks like she's in a dollhouse or a basement or something.
Yeah, I think it's the basement.
And there's like some psycho man who probably kidnapped her, who was probably the stalker, who was stalking her all through season 1. I could assume, if I'm making assumptions.
Well, she had to take a whole plane, so like she's in Kansas at this point.
Oh, this is before she went back to the school.
I think so.
Maybe it's a subplot. Then maybe it's not the stalker. Although,
No, she had to seek the serial killer out,
right.
and the serial killer is played by Haley Joel Osment.
Mm.
Not The Shining.
Right.
I See.
Maybe she sought out. Well, if he's a stalker, maybe he followed her home.
Well, this was like a famous serial killer when she was younger, and then
Still could be the
she
stalker.
did like a whole thing about it in school, and the kids were like, "What?
Right.
Why did she go to like a regular public school?"
Because she. I don't know. She was so against going to the Nevermores. Maybe her parents were like, "Fine, try it." But she went to like 5 of them and got kicked out of all of them. Then they were like, "All right, we're taking you to Nevermore." It was an interesting plot point. But yeah, and then she's like, let's play some dolls. This guy apparently loves dolls. The serial killer got a lot of dolls. Pretty creepy. So it looks good. The tone's right. I heard they're going for a much more darker and scarier tone.
Good.
Like they're ramping up the horror aspect.
Good.
And there's going to be like no romance because that doesn't really fit Wednesday's character.
And I know Jenna Ortega didn't 100% like the romance part of it,
Right.
or at least I think at some points the director was like, this is how she going. She like fought back on like,
yeah, because
this is exactly what Wednesday would not do.
Exactly. So I think they're cutting that out and they're going to focus more on this friendship and then obviously the main story.
Yeah.
So that's good. And she has, I think, she has a lot of more credit in this, Jenna Ortega. So she has a lot of input she can put herself.
Yeah.
Now that
I think a lot of
she's,
them,
getting bigger and stuff.
yeah, she's shown what she's capable of,
Yeah.
and she has genuine interest in like the horror genre.
Right. So does a great job. I mean, it's Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. So
we didn't watch. What is it? The Hurry Up Now.
Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Hurry Up Tomorrow. We did not watch it. Seen all the memes though.
But I want to watch
Shut
it.
up.
It's going to be on streaming, I think, next week. By the time you're seeing this, probably it's already out.
Yeah.
We might watch it.
What streaming service is it?
It's probably like Vudu, not a stream like to buy.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like Vudu, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So we'll probably talk about it if we watch it. We're not gonna review it because it's not a horror movie.
I was like actually intrigued about the movie from the trailers, but then seeing how everybody was like, no,
it's just a poorly written story about The Weeknd's life and how he sucks at singing and acting. That's literally what it is. He shits on himself the whole movie. Why would anybody want to see that?
He actually there was a I think he did like a South Park episode where he played himself and he did like a song about The Weeknd. It's just like a parody of himself.
Uh-huh.
It was something. It was either Family Guy or South Park. It was something.
I think it was South Park. I think you told me this before, or one of my coworkers told me. I forgot. Uh, so and also the theming of. Should talk about for that.
I did
That
not.
looks fun. Anyway,
Can't remember.
the Frankenstein movie. So back to Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. Season one
Tuesday, that
was
guy.
more of a mysterious detective kind of thriller. This one
Yeah.
has major slasher vibes to it.
And the way I think it was said that she's gonna be more seeking out these things instead of like the things coming to her.
Right. She's going to be a real detective. And I think they're taking a lot of stuff from slasher franchise. Friday the 13th, like summer camp slashers. So we might get a lot of those vibes, which, cool. Kind of oversaturated now. We've had a lot of those movies, but based on season one, I know they can do it right. I have faith in that. And just like everything else nowadays, it's being split to two parts. Why? Fucking hate that.
That's the dumb.
I
That's
hate that shit.
one of the dumbest things.
But again, it fits the slasher genre because part one is probably just going to be plot driven, story driven. It's the lead up. We're getting introduced, and then the second half will be reveals are happening and everything. But like, you
Unfortunately,
don't
I
need
still don't think it might not do as well considering that.
I don't know why they choose to do this to keep engagement going, so people can't buy it for 1 month and then cancel it. They have to have it for 2 months, I would guess. Because it's like almost exactly a month apart. That's probably why they do it.
Maybe Netflix should just get better stuff.
Yeah, retain your customers more. But Stranger Things is doing it too, and that's even more egregious. And we'll get there. Lady Gaga is going to guest star. She's going to sing a song.
Of course she is.
Hopefully, it's better than Joker 2.
She has a good voice and she can sing, but
She didn't prove it in Joker 2.
God, really?
No, she was awful in that. Well, not
The
awful.
singing?
Well,
Like she can't sing.
Well, she like her character. Basically, it wasn't like Lady Gaga's. She didn't give it her all, like it sounded like. Plus, Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga both won the Razzies, the worst movie. So bad. And then Pugsley, the brother, is also attending Nevermore High. So
Yeah, he's older now.
he's going to be probably in the show a lot, which is good. Bring more of the family.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna focus a lot more on the family.
Right, which is good because the family's
and
the Addams
and
family.
all the secrets, and especially in the
Mhm.
trailer they showed the Addams family tombstone somebody.
Right. Christopher Lloyd's making an appearance.
Nice.
You might know him as obviously Doc Brown, but Uncle Fester in the movies.
Yep.
So he's not going to play him. He's playing Professor Orloff. Maybe a riff on Orlok. Maybe some Nosferatu.
Kind of looks like him.
Does. So yeah, I have high hopes. I thought season one was like a solid 7.5, maybe an 8. It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like totally outstanding. But I enjoyed it. It was really
My girlfriend's interested in this. She'll be excited.
I like Tim Burton. He's got a weird sense of his mind of what he can come to life, and I like it all. I hope they have a bigger budget. I would assume they would. This was the second most watched Netflix show ever.
Yeah, so they definitely should have a better budget.
Next to Stranger Things, it was literally the most. Well, I had like 2 billion, or it had a lot of watch hours on. So hopefully they can improve that CGI on the hide. Cool design, but it was very CGI. But maybe that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
And the Hyde Monster looks like he's gonna make an appearance again.
Yeah, Tyler's coming.
Tyler.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Looks great. Can't wait for that. And that'll do it for Wednesday. Are you excited for Wednesday? What are your theories about it? And are you excited? Let us know.
Or do you just not care about it?
Yeah, Stranger Things 5.
It's been a while. What was that?
I think
what year was it actually?
I think it's been 3 years.
4 years is a lot.
Maybe it's 3. It's
4
definitely more than
years.
2.
If it's 4 years, that's you going into high school, and at least in the U.S. And then coming out as a senior, and then finally seeing that next season.
Well, season
That's
1,
way too long.
Season 1, I was a freshman in college. Right? I watched it. I watched it in one sitting. I didn't take any breaks. That's how good season 1 was. So, Erica Lucas's sister, just graduated high school like a week ago.
Yeah, that actress herself. Yeah, that's crazy.
Last time we saw her, she was like a child. You know, so there better be some sort of time jump. Because if they don't, how are they explaining how they just became adults with mortgages?
Yeah, there is going to be a time jump to accommodate for
Right.
all of it.
But then again, how do you explain that time jump without the world blowing up? Because
That's my thing.
season 4 ended with literally upside down, literally overtaking their whole world. So you're just gonna live there for 5 years and just deal with it,
Maybe it's going to turn into an apocalyptic.
like an Endgame type deal. That time jump was stupid. I'm not getting into that. But I mean,
yeah,
time-
2022.
God,
So 3 years. And then when is season 5 releasing?
November. So basically 4 years.
Yeah,
Depending on when.
really
season-
close to 4 years.
Like, my God. Well, no, it technically it will be 4 years because the last episode is 2026,
Oh yeah.
New Year's Day. Technically, it's 4 years,
Yeah.
or New Year's Eve. It's right about 4 years. And my God, they're separating this in 3 parts. How stupid! 3, and there's what 6 episodes. So it's gonna be like 3, 2, and then the last one.
That seems like a really silly thing to do.
Is I hate like
Should just release it all at once.
they should. Plus, I think personally, this season,
Or
the show,
2 episodes a week.
personally, I love the first season. I think it should have stopped and ended there. I don't know. I think it's still a
But
watchable
Eddie-
show. It's still good, but it lost a lot of its luster. It doesn't have the same effect,
Yeah.
and then it just gets too crazy. And yeah, I know they're fleshing out a story, but like it should have just been a 1 season show. Still gonna watch it. Still gonna review it, but we'll have to see.
There's TV shows that have gotten through much more arcs than this in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
And still being high quality.
Uh-huh.
I think that they could have done it with Stranger Things, but I'm not sure why. I know partly maybe it had to do with the writer strikes going on. I know that halted a lot of projects. So that could have definitely contributed. I know there was a lot of actors and actresses that stopped. Obviously a
Yeah.
strike.
Mhm.
So that could have had something to do with it because Erica, the actress, is now in high school. So like, think about like when they actually start filming, and then production, and then editing, and all that stuff might take however long it takes, and then they release it.
Right.
And then in between, yeah, it's still a while.
It is. So it says here the first 4 episodes premiere on Thanksgiving, November 26th, which again, weird day to release that. Everybody's with their family.
It's a family movie.
Technically,
It's a family TV show.
the next 3 is on Christmas, and then the last episode is New Year's Eve. So they're all on. Oh wait. Oh no, sorry, December. Yeah, New Year's Eve, the 31st. Is the last episode, and the last episode is 2.5 hours. The movie. The last episode is a feature length film.
They should have just made these 2 movies then.
Right at this point, just make them into a movie. And does that mean each episode is like an hour and a half, 2 hours? It can't be. Can't be. Man, who is that?
Apparently, in the trailer, you see him in the background hanging.
Who?
That guy, that kid.
This kid?
Yeah.
Chunk?
Yeah.
Poor kid. Is he dead?
He's not last. I don't think he's gonna last.
It doesn't look like he can last.
I think his name was Joe.
Who's that? Is that the Justin's squeeze?
I actually don't know.
Who are all of these people, and why are you introducing them in the last season? Who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and my
Mike's
biggest
sister.
issue with the season is that there was,
Mike's
and
sister
a lot of
there.
people are gonna agree that
Will.
a lot of characters have just survived for too long.
They have to kill at
There's
least 2.
no stakes. Like, how many people from the original like seasons should definitely die by now?
At least 2.
Probably should have died last season,
Uh-huh.
but they didn't. And then they introduce new characters and then kill them.
Yeah. Eddie, the best character, kill him. No, he's coming back. He's not dead. He's coming back. He's coming back as like a vampire. Then you know Max is not dying. They're gonna bring her back.
Yeah, because last season she had already like was close.
She's
So
she's already she's pronounced dead,
yeah,
but she's coming back.
so
She's coming back. I want to see. So I want Mike dead. Mike's just become a giant asshole. I don't like Mike anymore. He's the world's largest gaslighter. He shits on 11 all the time. He's a fake fan
can't
of
do your
11.
girl like that.
He's a fake fan of 11. He's always like getting in the way. He's always making fun of her. Bad. And I think Hopper needs to make it something very impactful.
Yeah, the parental figure needs to die sometimes.
Right. Either Hopper or the mom. I forgot her name. Here's someone. Sorry, picture. Will's mom.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Something Byers.
I mean, we all know it's Winona.
Yeah.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder's character.
But
maybe 11. Maybe they in the final battle they kill themselves and that's how it. They each kill each other. Both gone.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
11 needs to die.
A lot of them. How about the Upside Down wins? Maybe that's an idea.
Maybe. I know they're not going to do it though.
I mean, Hopper's got an M16 here, rolling with a flashlight. Come on, he's the Red Guardian. He's kind of the same character.
Yeah, but I mean, if Hopper dies, I mean, it just makes season 3 to season 4 weird because he was right about to die, and then you get the scene where the Americans,
yeah,
they're Americans,
True.
and then he's like, oh, everyone's I'm alive, True. I'm just in prison.
Joyce Byers.
Joyce. Yeah. Rejoice that we figured it out.
Whoop. Yeah, kill Mike. Get him out of here.
Kill Mike.
Kill Will.
Maybe kill Will. Will
at least Will's got some hair in this. He's got a decent haircut now. He doesn't just look like a thumb.
They did Will dirty just in general throughout the whole show.
He was the main character in season 1, and then for the rest of it, he's just not there.
Yeah, he was like
he didn't do shit.
In the Upside Down, came back, and like a lot of his things, like he had a connection, but it never really meant anything.
It never went anywhere. He was just kind of just there, and he didn't. 11 really took over, and yeah, the show's kind of about her, but she should be the person who kind of solves everything. Don't make it about her specifically.
Yeah,
it should be about Will. Still, he's like started it. He should end it, which I'm sure they're going to do with the scene where he's yelling like "run" or "no."
I'm gonna sacrifice myself.
Yes, please. Maybe they all have to gather together, sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, maybe all of them die.
Maybe it's all just a dream.
Not lost.
Also, I want to see more out of Jonathan.
Yeah,
he's also sidelined because the other guy, Steve, he took over. He's also an asshole. But then you get to like him, I guess.
You guess he's highly likable.
Yeah, I know. But like, Jonathan gets no love. He's there. He's always just in the background. Write him back in.
Yeah,
there's too many characters.
Yeah, that's why that's one of the biggest issues with having so, because it even says Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Kenton Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sink, Emily Dreyer, Charlie Heaton, Joey Keery, Maya Hawke,
there's too many.
Tyler Ferguson, Brett Gilman, Jamie Campbell.
Yeah. There's too many. Like
there's too many.
And they're all going to be in separate groups again, all separate, and it's going to be a hodgepodge. I don't know. I hope it's a good finale. I'm
hoping
finally put this to bed.
I'm hoping they figure something out. It is difficult to end things, so
yeah. And like it's taken this long. The main reason is probably the writer's strike, but like 4 years.
Yeah, like it's so like wrong? The writer's strike is over now, but
like
that definitely like halted
and like
just the writer's room and all that stuff.
Is something wrong behind the scenes that it's taken this long? Like it just makes you
conflict. Maybe a lot of the actors.
Yeah. Whoa, Linda Hamilton is in this?
Yeah.
Then Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah, I did not.
Elle Fisher? No, Linda.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a badass?
She's in the trailer for like a split second.
Oh, okay. They promised an epic
She might be a bad person.
We spent a full year filming the season. So instead of a 6-month film, the full year. 650 hours of footage. God damn. How much of that you cutting? A lot. So what is that film for? Where's the Snyder cut? 650 hours.
Release the full cut.
If you film that much and you have to cut 500 hours, more than that, because you have to. What is it all for? All that money? Why would you film that much?
Unless it's on an iPhone.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. 650 hours of what? Is it all going to be there? No, can't. It's like 8 blockbuster movies. So is every episode 2.5 hours?
If it's gonna
That'd be
be 8
insane.
blockbuster movies, they all better be damn good.
Yeah.
There better not be any filler. No filler this season. Or else you're definitely gonna lose people viewing it, because they're just not gonna want to keep up with November 26th, December 25th,
Exactly.
and then the 31st.
They're going to lose interest if it's not good on the first 4 episodes. They're going to go, I'm not tuning back in. Or they'll all wait for the last
I
episode.
think if they're gonna split it up in 2 parts, it's 3 parts, because
It is 3 parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
they
ridiculous.
should have just done 4 and 4,
Yeah.
and then made sure that
Why 3?
it's weird to do 3.
Because it's going to be a cliffhanger. And everybody's going to be like, I'll wait a week. Why? It's dumb.
I'd rather wait the 1 week for the second half.
Yeah.
If you're gonna split it up at all, you probably shouldn't
And
split
don't make
it
it
up.
a month. Why is it a month? Are you still working on it? Again, it's just to get people to stay on their subscription. That's definitely what it's Netflix making them. I guarantee it.
It probably is.
It has to be.
Same thing happened with Invincible's season 3.
Every show's doing it because they know, well, we'll get them to pay for another month.
Well, it didn't work out for Amazon because people did not like it at all. But
I
I'm
thought it
pretty
was
sure
great.
Amazon had forced
They force them to get it done.
Yeah.
They push them to write it faster. They didn't have time to animate it.
No, I'm talking about there was a break in last season.
Oh yeah. Oh
not,
yeah, there
not
wasn't
the
a break.
season that just came out.
Right, because there wasn't a
The
break.
last
yeah.
season had a break,
Right.
and nobody liked the break. They
Right.
were like, "Why?"
Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, it's to get people to stay on there. So there's no time for ramp up in this season. It's going to be epic, intense from beginning to end.
Good.
I highly doubt that, but we'll
And
see.
that's the problem. If it's like that, you should just have it so someone can binge watch it.
Yeah, and if it's that epic all the way through, it's gonna get stale pretty quick. You need some plot.
Yeah,
you can't have action all the way through. We'll see. I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of like, I'm not. I haven't been excited for a season since season 2. 3 and 4. I was just kind of like, all right, it's a show I can watch. They're fine. Gotten a little bit cringe.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Angela.
We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, Stranger Things 5. What do you think about it? Are you excited for it? Because the whole world, apparently, this is the greatest thing to ever happen since sliced bread.
We're getting Stranger Things before
GTA 6.
GTA 6.
That got pushed back again. A whole year.
Actually,
game's never coming out.
It will.
It won't.
They're trying to cook longer.
They're
I'd
cooking.
rather them delay it more and more, and then I'd just rather them delay it more and more and not release something
You're not
that's
wrong.
half.
You're not
Even though
wrong.
it's been in the making for a while, but this game has been set to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
But it better be spectacular.
And it's $100. Standard version. $100. Crazy. All right, Terrifier 4. Brief, not a lot. We got confirmation. The Damien Leone was in a interview with 3C Films.
Chris,
great YouTuber. He's awesome.
Yeah,
I watch him all the time.
Yep.
He revealed,
and he got to meet Dead Meat.
He did.
Yeah, and he liked that. It was his favorite YouTubers.
Yeah.
One of
well,
his.
3C Film was also in what movie was? He had a short cameo in is it FNAF? No. He had a cameo in a movie. Where it was like the beginning. I thought it was a horror movie. I thought it was FNAF.
Maybe.
Anyway, great YouTuber. Check him out if you don't know him.
Yeah, you probably should know him by now.
He does everything, reviews, everything. But basically, Damien Leone revealed that in the first 15 minutes of the movie, we'll get his backstory. I kind of don't want his backstory.
I'm on your side too. I don't
Kinda
think I
don't
want a
want it.
backstory either.
Because if they do it wrong, it might ruin the whole franchise, right?
Yeah.
Like, it'll ruin his character if they don't do it right. I do have faith in Damien Leone, but I think part of not knowing makes him even more scarier, and it's in human nature to know, to want to know everything, but I think not knowing is.
Yeah.
So we'll skip the first 15 minutes, then we'll watch them after that, you know? I don't know.
Depends on what
They
he's
better do it right.
it depends on what he's saying is his origin.
It
Like he
has to
might have a
be
different
it has to be him becoming demonic. Because we know he was just a mime, a sadistic serial killer. Like that, maybe that's his backstory that they're going to go into. Why he became a serial killer and not the whole demonic thing. That's where the real mystery is. Like, how did he become Satan's henchman?
I was gonna say I'd rather him just be established that he's just been doing this, and then they just go into the origin of how he became like with the devil and the demons.
Right.
I think that's all I want. I don't want like art without makeup and then
Yeah, I don't need that.
showing him like putting it on or him talking at all. I hope they don't ever.
I
They
don't think he
should
will.
never.
Before he was a mime, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did he adopt the mime serial killer? If I have faith, he'll do it right. And it's a 15 minutes of, but that's a lot of footage. It's a big backstory.
He's gotta
15
have a cut.
minutes. 15
Full cut.
So yeah, we'll see where that goes. The script is well underway. He said it's going to be the most epic, horrifying, thrilling, emotional, and satisfying conclusion to this saga. So it's the last movie confirmed. Not making any more after this. Again, for this story, he might make more in the future, but we probably won't see this for a while. Any more films?
And it is saying Terrifier 3 opened at #1 in October when it came
It
out.
did the highest
Uh,
grossing unrated
yeah.
film of all time
Crazy.
on like a $20 million budget.
It's really hard for rated R, unrated movies to get.
Unrated specifically because it's
Yeah.
not rated, so anybody can get in. Really, not rated. And a movie like this that's so disgusting, that's a big achievement.
It is.
But then
There's a
again,
lot of people who like this.
how many unrated films have been in? Not a lot. There are these indie type movies, so it's still a big feat. It's still great, and they're good movies. They're very entertaining. If you like this kind of stuff, Dead Meat.
Yeah, and that's 3C wasn't even asking for that. He's like, I don't want to ask for a little bit, and then Damien's like, yeah, you're gonna get the first 15 minutes of the backstory.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Like, all right, cool, we'll take it.
His face was. He's like, oh, that's not what I asked for,
Yeah.
but this is what we're gonna get.
So yeah, good to know that's well in production. I think it's 2026, maybe. Doesn't say, but I think that might make sense. 2026.
Doesn't say anything about it.
He's still writing the script.
Probably 2026.
If not 27. He's still writing the script, and they have to film it. Probably late 26 or early 27, I would guess. So that should be fun. The end. Yeah. Woo. And then lastly, we're not going to watch it on the episode. But did you watch any of those Killer of Killer clips?
Not yet.
Because they're fucking badass.
Not yet. I did not.
Oh, they're fucking bad. So early reviews on the movie, it's like phenomenal. They said it's the best thing the Predator franchise has like ever done. It's extremely gory. It's super well animated. It's great. And the clips are like, whoa.
It's the Spider-Man of
It's
Predator animation.
yeah, it's Across the Spider-Verse, but
This is gonna be like
for
the
horror.
first animated Predator stuff.
It is, yeah.
So,
And why haven't they done this before? You can do so much more in animation that you can't do in live action.
because it takes a lot of time, I think that's gonna be their time and money is
Right?
their biggest factors.
Exactly. But it's great because basically they adopted a concept art style. So it's moving concept art to give it like the cinematic feel, and it's awesome. Like it really works. Very well detailed, not like Invincible, not to drag. That has its own personal art
Yeah, that's
style.
a different.
It
art
looks like a
style.
comic book, but it's like super detailed. It's great, and it looks badass. So, and that comes out Friday. So it came out yesterday. So watch that. We'll be reviewing that. We're gonna watch the trailers on TikTok, not here.
Yeah, not here.
So
because we get copyrighted. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we don't know. So you'll see those reactions on TikTok for the trailers. So yeah, we'll get into that. And yeah, that's basically it for this episode.
Yeah.
Next week is Friday the 13th.
It is.
So we're gonna not review, but we're gonna rank the whole franchise like we did with the Halloween.
Yep.
Uh,
that feels forever ago.
right?
It was.
Then we'll probably gang some of these up. The Dangerous Animals might go with Barbarian.
Yeah.
I've been playing Doom: The Dark Ages, so once I finish that, I'll give you a review on that. And then probably the best episode that we'll film this year is 28 Years Later. We're gonna review that in full. That's probably gonna be a full fucking episode.
The whole time.
Yeah, if it's that good, if there's enough to talk about.
All right.
Because we could talk about the other two films.
Yeah.
You know, we'll watch those before, and then we'll talk about all of them. So you got that to look forward to. Don't forget about the hot takes. Give us all those hot takes on their socials. Leave comments on this video. We want to talk about them. We want to beat you up.
And
you know.
speaking of socials, we are on Twitter,
Yeah, excellent.
Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Instagram Threads.
Yeah, Threads.
Technically two different ones.
TikTok?
I guess it's Instagram.
It's Instagram.
It's
Facebook, Instagram, Threads are all the same.
It's Threads is the Twitter of Instagram.
Yeah. So, and TikTok, obviously. So follow us on all of those. We'll keep you up to date. Join the Discord. We're also on Discord.
We are.
Technically, that's social media,
Yes.
kind of. So go there.
Yeah, please do the Discord because it just makes it easier for us to communicate with everybody. You guys can give us feedback, talk amongst everybody, talk with us.
Yeah.
Literally anything. It's just the easiest way, I think, for us as a community to be able to talk to each other.
Right. It's a great way to get compelling feedback.
Yeah.
We need the compelling feedback. Because if you don't explain, can't help you. So yeah, join the Discord. Subscribe, like to the channel so we can keep pumping out episodes for you. Yeah, that'll do it today.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for joining. See you next week.
Fistbound.